To let us run the background, and I'll just say SSH, and that will give us SSH connection to the background box, the homestead box that we just configured. So we can see that homestead, and we are over here, and it's successfully says that this Ubuntu Linux, which is 18.04 version, and let's check a directory. So we are inside a code directory. And what we will do is we need to now check for the composer. So COMPOSERC, whether the composer is installed. So the composer is installed, and if you go to the Laravel installation, it says that we need to run a composer command to first create a Laravel installer using a composer. Or else we can directly go and create using a project. This one, if you don't want to install a Laravel installer. So let's install this one. So composer global require Laravel installer. So let us run this command over here, and that will take some time to just configure everything, the Laravel installer for us. And once you install Laravel, now we can use a Laravel new command to create a fresh Laravel installer in the directory specified. So we can just say Laravel new block to create a new directory name, which is a block. So that can be come from over here. If we go back over to our homestead, the YML file, and you can see that we have configured something over here, which is a block, the code block, and this should be our directory. So we have to make use of that one. So let's go back, and we need to create a Laravel new block. So let's go back. So everything is done over here. So we just say we can just create this Laravel. Let's say Laravel new, and the folder that we want to create, or the directory. So we just say VLOG block. And this will go and install our Laravel project for us, and it may take some time depending on if you have previously installed the Laravel, then it will take some from the cache, and it will not take some time. So I have previously run this command, so that's why it's quite fast, but it may take some time on your side. So let's go and see whether we can see we have a block. So I think we made a mistake because we need to go inside the code to make this block, because we have mentioned it in our over here, which resides inside the background code and the block, but actually we downloaded and installed inside this one. So let's go inside the code directory. So cd will just say cod code, and let's go inside, and we don't have anything. So let us run that command one more time, which is a Laravel new block, and let us create a directory over here for our block. And by that, we should go back to our documents and the website, and you can see the block folder is created over here. So that's it. The Laravel installation, project installation, has been successfully added over here. The next step is to just launch this project and start working with it. So we are installing, so just hold on. So it may take a bit time. This is a new directory, that's why it will take some time to download from the cache, and let's wait for this one to finish up. So now you can see that application has been ready and built something amazing, and the pack.php is strong. So let me go back to this directory where is our location of our website. So I'll be using the blog. So let me go and open a project from our PHP storm. So I'll be using that one. So I'll just select the blog from here and just click on OK, and just click on new window. So it will go and open a project for us. So just hold on, and So everything looks fine and the project is loaded, and let's next step is let's go and test our web server is running or not. So for that we can just go and copy our the domain name that we created, which is blog.test, and let us open that one. And you can see we have a Laravel project successfully installed, and we can also access it using the IP address that we provide over here. Just copy this and just paste it over here, so that is also point to the same one. So that's it and we have successfully installed a Laravel using a homestead and configure everything for our project. And the next step is to start working with our project. So this is our project file that we need to work, and we'll continue with our lesson in the next video. Till then, have a great day. Today we'll go and see about the Laravel 6 and the installation, and to prepare our homestead for our Laravel development. If you go to the Laravel documentation site over here, and which is laravel.com/doc/6, the version code and the installation on the top over here you can see, and it's mentioned that the installation, you can see the installation, that the Laravel framework has a very few system requirement, and all of these requirements are satisfied by a Laravel homestead virtual machine. So it's highly recommended that you make use of homestead for your Laravel development environment. So it's always recommended and highly recommended by a Laravel project over here to make use of a Laravel homestead. And today we'll be going and see how to install and configure our homestead virtual machine over here. And however, you can also use homestead. If you are not using a homestead, you will need to make sure you have a server meet requirement of the following. So if we are not using a homestead, we have to make sure that all of these are installed and configured in our server. And we also have to make use of a composer. And basically we can also make use of like others open source environment like a XAMPP or a LAMP. So they are also supported for our Laravel environment, but we have to make use of install different things. And also here they have mentioned that what are the system requirements. So let's go to our Laravel homestead and see how to configure our Laravel development environment. On the homestead documentation side over here, and let's go to the instruction, and let's go over here and check what it does. It's a Laravel strat to make the either PHP development environment experience delightful, including your local deployment environment with a Vagrant. Provide a simple, elegant way to make and provision a virtual machine. So let's go and see what are the requirements. So in the software included in our homestead environment, you can see the Ubuntu, Git, all of these are already pre-installed for us. So this is really good, and we don't have to configure or install by ourselves. So by default, it's already included in our homestead environment. And optional software that we can make use of. So let's go to the installation and setup steps over here. The first of all, that make sure we have before launching your homestead environment, we have to install a VirtualBox 6 or a VMware or Parallel or a Hyper-V. So we'll be making use of our VirtualBox for this one, and as well as we have to install a Vagrant over here. So just let us go to our download for our VirtualBox first. So you can just go to the virtualbox.org and wiki and download. So if you are using the OS platform, I'll be using a Windows host, and I have already downloaded over here. So if we go to the download folder, I have downloaded the VirtualBox. And the second thing that we need is a Vagrant. So let's go to the Vagrant side over here, and this is the site that we can make use of to download. So you can choose a Windows version or depending on your OS version. So I'll be using on the Windows version. So if you are on 32-bit, you download a 32-bit, and if you are on 64-bit, you can download a 64-bit over here. And the next, also we need a Git. So we can just go to this website, which is an git-scm.com, download it. We can download depending on your Windows version, whether you are on 64-bit, 32-bit, or whether you are on a Linux or Mac. So depending on your OS, you can always download from here. So these are the basic software that we need to install before we can go and configure our Laravel Homestead, because it says mentioned that before launching your Homestead environment, you must have installed VirtualBox and the Vagrant. So that's it. So let's go and install all of them first. So let me install the VirtualBox first, and then Vagrant and the Git. So let's start. The installation is quite simple. You just click on next, and next you don't have to change anything. Just click next, 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 and install it. Installation will take a bit time. So after this is done, then let's go to our Vagrant over here, and let us install this. So just double click on this one, and let's make sure that the Oracle VM VirtualBox has been successfully installed before we proceed to our Vagrant install. So that's it. Okay, so let's finish and let's move to our Vagrant install. Click next, accept. So just make sure everything is keep as default, and just click on next, next, and just install it. So just after of this Vagrant has been finished, then we need to restart our machine. So make sure after the installation has completed, you reboot your machine. So let's wait for this one, and let's also install a Git over here. Just click on this one. If you don't want to install, and if you want to make use of your command prompt, and that's also fine. Fine, but I will be making use of a Git bash. So let me install this one also. So let me see the installation for the previous one. Let us finish this installation first. Then I will be installing a Git. So the Vagrant installation has been completed. So we'll click on finish this. It's asking us to restart. So we'll say we'll start later, and let me install the Git first. Just click on next, next, and I'll just click on install on desktop additional icon. Just click on next, and next, and use a Vim. Okay, that's fine. And Git from command prompt also, and the third party software. Okay, then that's fine. And okay, that's just leave everything as a default, and use a mini ty. Okay, that's fine. So enable. Okay, leave as all of the default, and just click on install. So it may take a bit time, just maybe a few seconds to install this one. Then we'll go and restart our system, and we'll continue further. So after the installation has been done everything, then we need to go and start from here. So let's wait for this one to complete. Let's finish this one, and I'll just uncheck this one, and let me close all of the browser, open browser, and I will just click on restart. So let's wait for device to reboot. So just click on yes. So let's continue, and we have successfully restarted our machine, and we have already installed the VirtualBox as well as Vagrant. And the next step is to installing a Homestead Vagrant box. So once the VirtualBox and the VMware has been installed, and we should add a Laravel Homestead box to our Vagrant installation using a following command. So it will take some time depending on your internet speed to download a Homestead Vagrant box. So let us copy this command, and let me run a git bash over here. So where is my git bash? I cannot find it here. Okay, so let's run this command over here. Just paste it, and it will take some time for this one. So I think it will take 5 minutes for this one. So let me pause the video, and I will be back once the installation has been successfully done. Okay, so it has been successfully added the Homestead box. So we can find that one in if we go to our directory, the user and the username, C drive users and the user directory. And inside the .vagrant.d, inside this one you can go to boxes, and you can see the Laravel Vagrant and the version code and the VirtualBox. And this is a virtual machine which is an Ubuntu 18.04 AMD64. So that's the that's the box that it has been added with the Homestead Laravel Homestead box for us. So after we add the Homestead Vagrant box, the next step is we need to we need to clone the homestead. So for you may install a homestead by cloning a repository. So we can just run this command, or else you can just directly go to this link and download the file. So let's copy this code and just copy this line of the git command and just paste it over here and just hit enter. So this will go and download the homestead for us, and it will create one directory. So let's go back to our folder over here, and let's go back to the C drive users and Richard, and that's the username, and you can go to this folder, which is a homestead, and the file has been added inside this one. So that's correct. And the next step is we need to go inside this homestead directory, and we need to run, once you have cloned the homestead repositories, you need to run the bash.init. This is basically for and the command from the homestead directory to create a homestead YAML file. So we need to create a configuration file, which is a homestead.yml file that is bash.init.sh. So let's go inside over here, and let's go back to this directory. So let me copy this one. Just copy this directory and just type it as a cd and change the directory and paste that one. So we are in, and let's say if we can find that init.sh over here. So let me run that one. So I will just say as we run it directly. So bash.init.sh. So we should be able to run this one. So let me copy this command and just paste it over here. Yeah, so that homestead has been initialized. And if you go back to that folder, so we can see some of the file has been added. So basically we need to work with the homestead. So let me open this file, and let me see that the first IP address is the IP address that we will be using to access our homestead vagrant box, and the memory that we provide to that virtual box, CPUs, and the provider. So provider is we are using a virtual box. We can also make use of other provider, like you can see the VMware Fusion, Workstation, Parallel, Hyper-V. So that's make use of a provider over here. And the next step is we need to make use of configure our share folder. So let me open this one, and let me comment out this one because we will be not using this one. Just comment out this one, and you can also remove it if we can also remove it because we are not using currently for the authorization using a key SSH. And the next step is to map the folder. So map folder is to map your host machine or folder to the vagrant box or the homestead box folder. So this is the folder inside our vagrant box which we just configured, and this will be mapped to our current host machine. So in the host machine we need to configure one folder. So let me go to my document, and inside let me create a one file. So website should be fine. So inside, let us create a one folder which is website, and I will map all of the website file inside this one. So basically this will be our shell folder, the host shell folder, which will be mapped with our vagrant box. So that's let me just paste it over here, so that this is mapped with this folder. So everything that we put inside, all the project that we put inside this vagrant box will be added inside inside this, will be also copied to this folder. So if you go and check what it's saying is that the folder property of the homestead YAML file lists all the folders you wish to share with your homestead environment. So the folder that is going to share all files with this folder are changed. They will be kept synchronized between the local machine and the homestead environment. So you may configure as a shell folder as necessary. So we will just add that one. So we'll just say, okay, all of this and all of this is mapped to the vagrant box, this folder. And the next stage is the sites. And the sites, if you go and check over here, let me go to the sites, configure the sites over here. Not familiar with the next thing. The problem is the site. No problem. And the site is the property that we need to easily map the domain name to the folder of a homestead. So basically we are mapping the domain name that we are going to use for our development with the Vagrant homestead environment folder. So basically what we do is, this is our domain name. So I'll just say as blog.test. So blog.test will be our domain name, and it will be mapped to this folder inside a Vagrant box or a homestead. So the homestead environment, so go to home, Vagrant code, and inside the code let us create a one folder that should be our blog. So we can add a multiple project over here. Let us do blog and blog. This will be mapped to this domain name. So if you want to add another domain name, you can just copy this and change the domain name and just change the location of the folder of the file for your website. So that's it, and we'll just save this one for now. And after we have this one, if you change the site property provision homestead, you should run a Vagrant reload provision to update the next in configuration. Okay, so we haven't run our command, so let me skip that for now. And the next step is hostname resolution. So we need to configure the hostname resolution inside this folder. So it is basically we need to add this line. So that line comes from this IP address. So what I will do is I'll just copy this one, and let us go to that folder location. So I'll just paste it over here. And sorry for that, I think we wrongly typed. So the host, I need to remove this one. So that's a location we need to go, and inside this we have a host file. So just check that, make sure go to the property and make sure the read attribute is read only is unchecked. So if you check this one, you cannot modify, you cannot save that file. So just uncheck that one. If you are unable to save, just come and check whether the host property read only is checked. Just cancel this, and let us go to our notepad and run the notepad in administrator mode. And let me open that one. Yes, and let's open our host file, so which is on this location, and just change to all files hosts, and just click on open. And that's all of the domain name map with our IP address. So this is blog.test. So basically that is with our let me go to homestead configuration file, and you can see the IP address is this one, and we have mapped that IP address with this domain name. So that's it, and we have already configured that one. That's fine, and just save this one, and that should be fine. And let's close this one too, and let's go and see what's the next step. So after we configure this one, and we have to launch a Vagrant box using this command, the vagrant.up. So we need to be inside, the command should be run inside from a homestead directory. So the Vagrant will boot the virtual machine and automatically configure the shell folder and next inside. So let's go back to our this command over here, which is a git command, and we are already inside this homestead directory. And the next step is to run this command, which is a Vagrant up. So what we will do is vagrant Vagrant, and just say as up, and this will bring up our virtual machine. So it may take some time to bring up, so just hold on. So everything looks like fine, and let's go and check whether that one has been successfully up and running. Let's go to the virtual box, and we can see the homestead is running now.